Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allah.
Thank you. years are passing endlessly. It is now 1,992 years since the birth of Christ. After nearly 2,000 years, what is it that people have learned? What ideals are they upholding? People are celebrating the advent of the new year, but what are they doing to improve their conduct? This is what matters. Without it, the celebrations are meaningless. Act according to your conscience. Jesus taught many good lessons. Allah gave many high teachings. Rama and Krishna taught many good lessons. What have people gained from all this? How far have they tried to put this into practice? There are numerous persons who read the Bhagavad Gita every day. There are persons propagating the Gita in every street. Preachers have multiplied, but the number of those practicing the precepts is dwindling. People talk about what Swami has been saying. How many are practicing what Swami says, even to the slightest extent? No. What then is the use of all this? Whether it is Swami's teachings or the instructions given by elders, whatever is good, you should put into practice. You must act according to whatever your conscience tells is good. This is the way to honor the great ones. Not to practice their teachings is to disrespect them. Sathya Sai speaks, 1993. Om Shri Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Let's try it again. Getting better. Sai Ram. Fantastic. Welcome, embodiments of divine love. Welcome to our 44th regional retreat. And welcome, special welcome to our wonderful speakers for this retreat. And also welcome, we have a past national officer visiting us this weekend. So we welcome David and Elaine Grease. Welcome. So our retreat theme this year, if not now, when? If not you, who? Well, the quote for this retreat, we choose a quote for each retreat, is, "You are the instruments. You are the chosen ones. You have to show by precept and by example that the path of self-realization is the path to perfect joy. Hence on you lies a great responsibility, the responsibility of demonstrating by your calmness, composure, humility, purity, virtue, courage, and conviction under all circumstances that the spiritual discipline you practice has made you a better, happier, and more useful person." And that's what Sathya Sai Speaks Volume 7. Well, if not now, when? Well, now is the time. Today, right now. There's no time except for the present. Swami is always the doer, but he works through us. We are his instruments. So we need to be the doer in Swami's hands. So now is the time, and we are the ones who have to carry Swami's message to the world. Remember that Swami has told us that we are not humans having a divine experience, but we are rather divine beings having a human experience. So, on with the announcements. As you all found out, the wake-up bell is at 5:30 a.m. Please remember that cars are not allowed in the camp. I made an announcement last night about side service vehicles. It turns out we have enough golf carts. So if you have turned in your keys to be a side service vehicle, you can actually pick them up. Please pick them up at the registration desk. We're in good shape as far as transportation. Of course, you will have to move your car off site, but please do that to the parking lot. Okay. Please be prompt for the various programs. Swami always wants us to be on time, wants programs to start on time. And of course, everybody wants to know what the weather is going to be like. We heard last night it was going to be cold last night. It was cold last night. Good news though. The weather forecast is actually improving. Today it's going to get up to 76 degrees. And the chance of thunderstorms has decreased a little bit. You may still see a rainbow, we'll see. Tomorrow it's going to be a high of 81. And chance of thunderstorm. Monday, also around 80. And perfectly sunny. So, weather's looking good. However, remember that it can change rapidly in the mountains. Seva, if you have signed up for Seva during registration, please honor your Seva commitments, your service commitments. Check with the service desk. There's always new service opportunities. And they can also tell you what the service is that you signed up for during registration. If you encounter any problems in the camp, any problems whatsoever, let the service desk know. The service desk is also the help desk. It's also lost and found. Every year after the retreat, we have a whole carload of items that we find. So please check on your areas when you do the Sunday night and Monday morning for things that are left behind. We find things like cell phones, watches, keys, all kinds of things, and lots of clothes. Any emergencies, report it to the service desk. Okay, lights out is at 10 p.m. With campfires tonight and tomorrow night, we do douse the flames at about quarter of or 10 of to give people a chance to get to their cabins. So just don't be upset when they have to douse the fire. Sound and sound volume. Remember, if you'd like the sound to be a little higher, sit near the speakers. If the sound's too loud for you, try to sit in the middle of the hall, away from the speakers, okay? And also, our sound team will be adjusting the volume as well to try to keep it optimized. If there are any SSE children in the devotion hall, now is the time you need to go to your respective locations. Okay, SSE 1, 2, 3. You need to go to your respective locations. There is a Honda Civic, a red Honda Civic, in the parking area that is blocking the main road in the parking area. It is New Jersey registration, license plate number R95HNB. So if that is your red Honda Civic, please relocate it at this time. Okay. Now it's time for our program. And it is my just wonderful honor to be able to introduce our first speaker of the retreat, Fize Mohammed. Fize, it's a wonderful being. I mean, both of our speakers as angels sent from Swami to talk to us. It's great. Fize Mohammed is a financial consultant and accountant in private practice. He holds the position of assistant branch manager with a leading financial conglomerate in the Caribbean and is a past public relations officer of Toastmasters Caribbean. Toastmasters, yes. Highly recommend Toastmasters for anyone out there. He has been a member of the Satya Sai, the Sri Satya Sai Baba organization since 1979. He currently holds the post of Deputy Central Coordinator of the West Indies. Brother Fize has been an SSE teacher for over 30 years, and he has previously held the following positions. He has been a National Young Adult Coordinator, 1999 to 2003, and the National Devotion Coordinator from 2008 to 2010. He has visited Prashanti Nilayam on 31 occasions and has many audiences with our beloved Bhagavan. He attended the first SSE training course for overseas devotees. He was in Prashanti in 1981 for the first EHV conference. He was there for the 3 World Youth Conferences held in 1997, 1999, and 2007, and had the privilege of speaking at Prashanti Nilayam during the 1999 World Youth Conference. Through Baba's grace and divine will, Brother Fize was instructed to speak on the Sai experience and on experience and morality. He has given talks on Sri Satya Sai Baba and his teachings in the Caribbean, Venezuela, USA, Canada, England, and India. In November 2009, a Radio Sai interview was conducted with Brother Fize relating to his journey to Sai. In August 2011, this interview was also aired as a 3-part series on Radio Sai during the holy month of Ramadan. In addition, he has had 3 articles published in Sanatana Sorority, the latest being in 2013 special edition to commemorate Swami's birthday. This is really great, because this we can take part in right now. Brother Fize currently conducts a weekly Radio Sai program on the birth, life, and teachings of our beloved Lord, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Brother Fize is happily married, has 2 beautiful daughters, and resides in Trinidad and Tobago, West Indies. Brother Fize, I invite you to come up and share your wisdom.
I offer my most loving and humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of my dear Mother Sai, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, embodiments of the divine Atma, embodiments of divine love, loving Sairams to one and all. I consider it a great privilege, an honor, and a joy to be present here this morning at this retreat to receive and to share the love of Mother Sai. Bhagwan once said, not a blade of grass moves, and I have not willed it so. This gathering of souls this morning can only take place save and except through His grace and divine will. A young adult came face to face with God. His intention was to fool God. So he pondered a little while and he said, God, how much is $1 worth in heaven? And God said, $1 is worth $1 million. He then asked God, how much is 1 second worth in heaven? And God said, 1 second is worth 1,000,000 years. He paused for a little while and he said, God, can I have $1? And God paused a little while and said, can you wait 1 second? A rickshaw driver and a priest went to heaven. The gatekeeper asked the priest, what did you do in your life? He said, I preached the word and glory of God all over the world and brought thousands into the fold. He pointed at an old, broken down wooden house infested with termites and he said, you go and live there. He was shocked, angry and frustrated. Unwillingly, he went to the house. Then the gatekeeper asked the rickshaw driver, what did you do in your life? He said, I worked in Mumbai taking people here, there and every day. I helped along the way. And he pointed at this beautiful mansion made out of gold and servants and beautiful delicacies, and he said, you go and live there. The preacher was shocked. He said, I preached the word of God all over the world and brought so many into his fold, and you put me in this old broken down wooden house, and all he did was drove people here and there, and he got this beautiful palace. How come? And the gatekeeper said, when you preached, people slept, and when he drove, people prayed. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? And when I came across the quote that Brother Doug shared this morning, when I was sent the documents, it was the first time I saw this particular quote of Swami, and it warmed my heart. And I think it's worth saying over and over again so that it becomes part of our DNA, that it becomes part of our bloodstream and consciousness, and that we can live, if only a part of it. You are the instruments. You are the chosen ones, says Swami. You have to show by precept and by example that the path of self-realization is the path to perfect joy. Hence on you lies a great responsibility. The responsibility of demonstrating by your calmness, composure, humility, purity, virtue, courage, and conviction under all circumstances that the spiritual discipline you practice has made you a better, happier, and more useful person. Let us look at these two statements in two parts. Let's look at if not you, then who? In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated quite clearly that whenever a dharma or evil overwhelms the world to such an extent that mankind threatens to destroy its very existence, this magnificent supreme divine consciousness embodies itself to re-establish righteousness on a firm footing. When this takes place, it is termed an avatar. It is simply the descent of God in human form to raise the level of consciousness from animal to divine. And it ties in so beautifully with our theme, if not you, then who? The Lord himself took that bold step. He did not ask governments, organizations, ourselves. He took the plunge himself. When the world was in such chaos and misery, he stepped up to the plate and he delivered the world as being such a better place since this avatar walked the face of the earth. And if his life is his message, then we must step up to the plate. We must be able to translate this message of his into our daily lives. We must be able to walk the talk that Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba did. How are we going to fix the world? What can each individual do? We should not become part of the problem, but part of the solution. We always feel that somebody else will fix it. That the organizations will fix it. That the government will fix it. Why not you? So let us look at who is the you in this statement. Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, in all of his divine discourses, addresses us as embodiments of the divine Atma, embodiments of divine love. He said, you are God in human form. He says, I am God, but you are God also. The only difference is I know that I am God, whereas you are still traversing the path. We are all potential avatars waiting to be incarnated. There's a saying in the Western canteen in Prashanti William that goes like this. Dust if you think you are, you are. God if you think you are, you are. Whatever you think, you become. The great Sufi saint Jalaluddin Rumi once said, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in the drop. Bhagwan reminds us that we are God. He teaches us that we must affirm, I am God, I am not different from God. And there's a beautiful song that embodies this teaching. I am God, I am God, I am no different from God. I am God, I am God, I am no different from God. I am the infinite supreme, the one reality. I am the infinite supreme, the one reality. I am Satchit Ananda Swarupa. I am Satchit Ananda Swarupa. I am Om Tat Sat Om. I am Om Tat Sat Om. Brothers and sisters, the answer to the question, if not you, then who, lies in looking at Swami's life as the perfect example. That he himself took the bold step and incarnated on the face of the earth to re-establish righteousness, to awaken the divinity within each and every one of us, to incarnate the indwelling God, and to allow that awareness to manifest in thought, word, and deed. Let us for a few moments look at Bhagwan as an individual and not as a divine phenomenon. He came on the face of the earth, and at the tender age of 13 or 14 years old, he told the world what his mission was. And this mission and his passion and his purpose was to make the world a better place against insurmountable odds. Insurmountable challenges, condemnation, character assassination, insults and injuries, Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba persevered to fulfill his divine mission. At a tender age, his skull was cut open. He was called a madman. He was called a magic man. So many people and things tried to prevent the manifestation of his goal. But with relentless focus and attention, Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, without even a secondary school education, braved all the obstacles and showed the world that once you set yourself a vision, a purpose, and you focus on it, and let nothing prevent its achievement, you can achieve anything you set your mind on. Beloved devotees, let us remember what this avatar has come for. He says, I have a task to foster all mankind and ensure for all of them lives full of ananda. I have a vow to lead all who stray from the straight and narrow path again into goodness and save them. I am attached to a work that I love, to remove the misery and suffering of the poor and grant them what they lack. I have a reason to be proud, to rescue all who worship and adore me aright. I have come to inscribe a golden chapter in the history of humanity, wherein falsehood will fail, truth will triumph, and virtue will reign. Character will confer power then, not knowledge or inventive skill or wealth. Wisdom will be enthroned in the councils of the nations. A wave of service, if it sweeps over the land, catching all in its enthusiasm, will be able to wipe off the mounds of hatred, malice, and greed that festers in the world. Bhagwan has said, I have come to awaken the divinity that is latent in each and every one of you. He says avatars like Rama and Krishna had to destroy one or more individuals who stood in the way of the propagation of Dharma. But in this Kali Yuga in which we live, where every single one of us is tainted with evil, if the avatar were to uproot, there will be none left on the face of the earth. So this is an avatar not of mass destruction, but mass transformation. And his weapon of transformation is pure, selfless, divine love. He says, when the raging fires of anger, greed, lust, and jealousy threaten to destroy our very existence, he says, let the soothing, balming, healing effect of divine love act as a fireman to out these raging fires in our hearts. Beloved devotees, looking at Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba as an individual with a passion and a purpose to make this world a better place, to provide an avenue where each and every individual can transform himself and realize the divinity within, let us remind ourselves of what one individual can do. We are very familiar, many of us, with the service projects of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. But let us remind ourselves of some amazing, mind-boggling statistics. The water projects. In many arid areas of India, the poor had no access to fresh drinking water. Villages often used the same water for drinking, watering their cattle, bathing, and washing their clothes. A lack of clean water polluted by high fluoride content makes life unbearable. Its effect can be devastating. In early 1995, Sri Satya Sai Baba launched the first phase of a massive project to provide safe drinking water to over 1,000 villages, covering a population of nearly 2 million. The project involved massive excavations and extensive pipeline covering over 20,000 square kilometers. 15,000 people came together to construct the single largest project of its kind undertaken anywhere in the world by a private organization. Even the government of India shuddered to undertake that project. Inspired by Sri Satya Sai Baba's vision, bureaucratic delays disappeared and the entire project was completed in the unprecedented time of 18 months. The Sri Satya Sai water drinking project cost nearly $70 million US. These funds were raised without any solicitation whatsoever through a complex web of overhead storage reservoirs, booster stations and ground-level reservoirs, and summer storage tanks. Fresh water reached tens of thousands of newly constructed outlets in the villages where people once walked miles for contaminated water. Now they had safe drinking water in abundance throughout the year at their doorstep. Who could achieve something of this great magnitude? Satya Sai Baba says, whenever you see a sick person, a dispirited, disconsolate, diseased person, that is your field of service. Every blood cell, every nerve must tingle with love, with the eagerness to share that love with the fallen. Mahatma Gandhi said, India lives in her villages that are often no more than a cluster of dilapidated huts in which people are huddled together. Many of them exist not by eating food, but on sheer hope. Hope that someone will care for them. In October of 2000, Satya Sai Baba inspired his students to bring this hope in the form of food, clothing, and love to these forgotten masses. 300 tons of food was prepared during a 2-week period. Students and volunteers worked around the clock, producing over 500,000 servings. Every morning, groups of students set out in a convoy of trucks to the surrounding villages. These students would experience firsthand the difficult living conditions in these villages, developing a deep compassion for the less fortunate. For many, it was their first experience with rural India. Throughout the day, they went door to door to each house. In every village, no matter how remote, taking care not to neglect a single soul. Students touched thousands of hearts in 1,000 different ways, including their own. One individual with a passion and a purpose. Let's look briefly at the super specialty hospital. During a birthday celebration on the 23rd of November 1990, Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba announced to the world that a super specialty hospital will be constructed and opened in 1 year's time. This shocked all the professionals, all the construction engineers, all the people who prepared plans said this could never happen. The person designated by Bhagwan to complete the plans was Professor Critchlow. He was given 3 months to complete the design, and the hospital was built in 9 months. This, according to Professor Critchlow, is a feat only Sai Baba could perform. It is said that the construction of such a massive hospital with all its modern equipment would take more than 7 years. In the US or UK, it took 9 months in the hands of Sri Satya Sai Baba. Dr. Michael Noble has said, "I have never seen anything like this on the face of the earth. It is a wonderful feeling, far removed from the national healthcare in the West, which does not seem to work very well. The impressive thing about the hospital created by Bhagwan Sai Baba is the combination of 3 aspects: state-of-the-art technology, free medical treatment, and the healing powers of his divine presence, instilling in the patient the firm belief that he or she will get well. The super specialty hospital is now like temples of healing." And brothers and sisters, we are familiar with the education system of our loving Lord. A unique system of education that fuses academic excellence with moral and spiritual values to produce ideal citizens in our world. Thousands of students are churned out of Bhagwan's universities, and Swami once said, "The dust of my students' feet will transform the world. They will occupy the highest positions in the society, and they will govern their kingdoms with love and with dignity." This is the education system that Bhagwan says that will allow the divinity to manifest in thought, word, and deed. Brothers and sisters, why have I shared in such great detail these wonderful projects of Bhagwan? It is to show each and every one of us who are potential avatars what one individual with a single-minded purpose, with a passion, who overcome undaunting situations, superhuman challenges, and he came out victorious to leave the world in a better place. So the question is, if not you, then who? Beloved devotees, many of us have been to Prashanti Nilayam over the years. We have seen Sri Satya Sai Baba in action almost every day. He has been known to multiply food on many occasions. He has been known to materialize and seen to materialize the sacred ash vibhuti for hundreds of devotees. He knows the past, present, and future of every single thing and every single one in the universe. The amount of food that he consumes is not enough to even keep a tiny babe alive. There are at least 3 documented cases where he's brought the dead back to life. He can speak any language. No one, absolutely no one, has ever yet seen him sleeping in his 86-year lifespan. He has been known to materialize out of thin air surgical instruments needed to perform operations. He's manifested a straight rainbow for a doubting American devotee. And yet he says, these miracles are incidental to his divine mission. What is the greatest miracle of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba? It is the miracle of the transformation that takes place in each and every human heart when we come into contact with this embodiment of love. And this is what has to be used to bring about a transformation in our world. Beloved devotees, out of that transformation comes a very priceless acquisition, and that is character. Bhagwan says, politics without principles, education without character, science without humanity, business without morality is not only useless, but positively dangerous. The end of education is character. Bhagwan once said in a message, he said, if you lose wealth, you can earn more. If you lose your property, you can purchase another. He says, even if you lose your wife, you can remarry. But when you lose character, everything is lost. He says, one may be well versed in many branches of secular learning. One may have gained mastery over many worldly skills. One may occupy exalted positions of power and authority. One may have at once command enormous wealth. But if one is not endowed with an impeccable character, which is the greatest of life's possessions, one can forfeit in a trice all the achievements and benefits derived from all acquisitions. Bhagwan warns us. A person devoid of virtue is no better than a mere brute. Character is man's richest ornament, and conduct is real treasure. It is often declared that knowledge is power. Bhagwan says no, character is power. Nothing can be more powerful than one's character. Riches, property, academic excellence are all frail and flimsy before it. Look at the history of men and women, avatars and God-men who have walked the face of the earth. Jesus the Christ, Rama, Krishna, even today Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, great men and women who long after they've left the physical earth continue to inspire goodness and noble ideas in the hearts of humanity. Bhagwan says, what is it that has allowed them to become so memorable? He says, I say to you, it is the character of each one of them. If not you, then who? A devotee armed with character can achieve anything in the world. The Bible says, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. If God be for you, who can be against you? Brothers and sisters, do we really know who we are? It is an insult to the divinity that lies within for us not to manifest it fully in our daily lives. It is our very birthright. And the Avatar has come as a perfect exemplar to show us that way to blessedness. He has come to put everything on a platter to awaken the divinity within us, to unleash that divine energy that each and every one of us possess in equal measure, and that when we come together, we can be a force to reckon with to bring about transformation in the world. Albert Einstein said this of Mahatma Gandhi: generations to come will scarce believe that such a one as this, ever in flesh and blood, walked upon this earth. Generations to come will scarce believe that such a one as this ever in flesh and blood walked upon this earth. Beloved devotees, I'll share with you one or two experiences to remind us that it is not so much the quantity of the savor that we do, but the quality and attitude of the love with which it is done. When the super specialty hospital was being built, there was one particular size student who wanted to give a small contribution to Bhagwan. Many were donating millions of dollars to this project. This one student used to receive an allowance from his parents for washing the clothes by the dhobies. But he had so much of love for Bhagwan, he wanted to give even a small contribution towards the super specialty hospital. So for many months, he saved the allowance that his parents would send, and every day he would wash the clothes himself and hang it to dry. And he accumulated over a period of time 100 rupees. And he sat in his little hostel and he wrote Bhagwan a beautiful letter, outpouring his heart that Swami, this is my contribution to this magnificent super specialty hospital. He went to darshan that morning, and as Swami was walking, he offered Swami with love this letter, and Swami took it. Bhagwan came back out of the interview room holding the letter to all by saying that this 100 rupees that was given with so much love and sincerity, and the method by which it was generated, I value it more than the millions I have received. It is the quality of the love that it comes from. Beloved devotees, you all might be familiar with Ajneesh Vishwarai Prasad, a beautiful Bhajan singer who lives in Darjeeling. When the super specialty hospital was being built, there were a few students who felt that the deadline was not going to be met. And it would be a shame and embarrassment to Bhagwan. So this group of students went to Swami and they pleaded, they said, Swami, please, allow us to make a contribution. Let us go and give up our labor of love to have this hospital completed in time. And Bhagwan said, no. What would your parents think? That you are coming to my university and I'm giving you hard menial labor? They persisted. They begged. And Bhagwan says, okay, I will do. And a group of students, including Ajneesh, went for about 30 days in the blistering Puttaparthi heat, mixing cement and carrying buckets in the sweltering heat to make their contribution towards the super specialty hospital. After they had finished about 30 days of this labor, Bhagwan called this group of students. Ajneesh was at the harmonium ready to hold the harmonium. Bhagwan gave him the cue to sing. But over the 30 days, holding the buckets of cement like this, his fingers could not open. He could not open his fingers to even hold the harmonium. And when Swami saw this, Swami looked at him and said, I will never forget you. Beloved devotees, we need to wake up and smell the spiritual coffee. Each one of us needs to take responsibility for our own space. Forget about what your neighbor can do. Forget about what organizations can do. Forget about what the government can do. Ask yourself, what can I do to make the world a better place? Bhagwan says there can never be world transformation unless individuals change. The Christian hymn says, if there be peace in the world, let it begin with me. Mahatma Gandhi says, be the change you want to see in the world. There's a beautiful quotation of Bhagwan that embodies this. He says, if there is righteousness in the heart, there will be beauty in the character. When there's beauty in the character, there will be harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there will be order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. So it has to begin with each and every one of us. Brothers and sisters, can you imagine that if each one of us take responsibility for our space, if we can be the best we can be, and never feel that what you are doing, no matter how small, is not contributing to the betterment of society. Bhagwan in the compendium says, had it not been for the mind change of Sai devotees, the world would have been in utter chaos. The tiniest of pebbles dropped in a cup of water would produce the tiniest of ripples. And when you multiply that by billions, you can get a wave of transformation being effected throughout the world. But it has to start with you and I. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. What does this avatar say? He says, take one step towards me, I shall take 10 towards you. Shed one tear in my name, I will wipe 100 from your eyes. Bring me the depths of your mind, no matter how grotesque, how cruelly ravaged by doubts or disappointments. I know how to treat them, for I am your mother, and I will never, never let you go. I recently came across a beautiful quote that says, none of us is better than all of us together. None of us is better than all of us together. How powerful are all of us when we work together as a team? There was an experiment conducted in Washington, D.C. in 1993. The leaders were concerned about tragedies happening in this particular state. Homicide, rape, aggravated robberies, and tragic violence. So they experimented, and between June the 7th and July the 30th, 1993, 4,000 participants experienced in transcendental meditation meditated for this 30 to 40-day period. After this exercise was completed, a statistical review was done. And lo and behold, brothers and sisters, it was found that during this period of time when so much beautiful waves of loving vibration and positive energy was exuded into the atmosphere, there was a 48% reduction in all the crimes identified. That is how powerful when we come together, we can make a difference. Let us be reminded what Bhagwan says. He says when it comes to talking, many of us are heroes. And when it comes to putting it into practice, we are all zeros. The thought for the day was so applicable to our theme. 1 ounce of practice, he says, is better than a ton of preaching. The most powerful influence any one of us can have to create a better society is to be a good example of Bhagwan's teachings. You don't even have to speak. Your character will resonate. That energy, that love will create transformation waves with any that you come into contact with. It's the most powerful way to spread Swami's message. Be the change. Today, when you look around in the society, brothers and sisters, I was looking at the news while flying here. We had a stop in Miami and so many tornadoes. Deaths, houses ripped apart, families destroyed, homes destroyed, flooding of unprecedented amounts. What really causes this? Harold Sherman, a scientist in the US, gave an explanation that is worth considering. He says, every time you think a thought, a wave of vibration and an energy goes out into the atmosphere. When you think a negative thought of anger, greed, lust, jealousy, he says this negative energy goes out and mixes and accumulates with the already existing ones. And the total mass conglomeration of all this energy causes an imbalance in nature, and Mother Nature rebels in the form of earthquakes, tsunamis, and all these natural disasters. Brothers and sisters, we are responsible for the state of the world that is in right now. And we have the power within ourselves to bring about a transformation. Change your thoughts and you can change the world. Change your thoughts, you can change your destiny. Change your thoughts, you can change your feelings. Change your thoughts, you can change your life. In fact, Swami has said, when it comes to character, the very first fundamental issue is our thoughts. Good thoughts will produce good words. Good thoughts will produce good action. Good thoughts, an accumulation of it will produce good habits. And an accumulation of good habits will produce a good character. And with a good character, you can achieve anything. You can create your own destiny. So brothers and sisters, this is how powerful each and every one of us is. I'd like to sing a song and just bring this first segment to a close. Join with me if you know it. Love, peace, righteousness, and truth. Love, peace, righteousness, and truth. Holy Spirit dwelling in us all. Holy Spirit dwelling in us all. Father in heaven, give us your grace. Give us your grace. Father in heaven, give us your peace. Give us your peace. Love in every heart. Love in every heart. Peace in every mind. Peace in every mind. Love in every heart. Love in every heart. Peace in every mind. Peace in every mind. God, yeah, and now Shri Satya Sai Baba. God, yeah, and now Shri Satya Sai Baba. God, yeah, and now sweet Jesus Christ, O Lord. God, yeah, and now sweet Jesus Christ, our Lord. Love, peace, righteousness, and truth. Love, peace, righteousness, and truth. Holy Spirit, dwelling in us all. Holy Spirit, than when. Bhagwan says, the past is gone. It can never ever be recovered. The future you are not sure of. The given moment is now, the present, the omnipresent. God exists now. Whatever has happened, whatever will happen, happens in the now. Eckhart Tolle once said, your point of power is always in the present moment. When tomorrow comes, it becomes now. Now is all we have, brothers and sisters. Procrastination is a stealer of time. Putting off what you can do today for tomorrow is foolish and silly, because tomorrow is not in your hands. So now is the time to love all and serve all. Now is the time to forgive and forget. Now is the time to realize that inner divine potential. Now is the time to unleash it in our daily lives and truly make a difference. Now is the time to lead a life of significance, because the world is crying out for it. Do not postpone what you can do today for tomorrow. Live every moment fully in the present. Beloved devotees, when Swami says work is worship, it simply means that whatever act we are doing at the given moment, when we give our fullest attention to it now, it becomes free from ego. And that is how work becomes worship. So time is not in our hands. Bhagwan says, life is like a water bubble, it can pop any time. So while you have the time now, make the best possible use of it. Look what this avatar has achieved in 86 years. What Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba has achieved has never been achieved before by any other avatar in the history of humanity. Unprecedented. He's never walked so intimately amongst his devotees. He's never become so accessible and available to his devotees. So my question to you, the one who has given us so much, who has incarnated for our benefit, what are we given in return? What is the gift we can give Mother Sai, who has given us so much? Brothers and sisters, ask yourself, where would I have been had it not been for Satya Sai Baba? Where would I have been? Each one of us, we have a story to tell. If one day you go into a dark room and you're looking for something, and you hold on to an item in your hand, and when you put on the lights, you realize it is a cobra, what would you do? Would you release it gradually? Instantly, without even thinking, you will let it go. Bhagwan says that is how we must treat life. There has to be a sense of urgency, because time is not in our hands. That urgency must drive our action. That urgency must drive our purpose to do the best that we can today to make a difference. Because it is today that really counts. So brothers and sisters, Bhagwan says time wasted is life wasted. So let us wake up to the reality that this opportunity presented to us may never ever come our way again. Let us not use this precious and golden opportunity to be good examples of the Sai mission. I'd like to bring a close to this talk by quoting two of Swami's messages that embody the theme of this conference. If not you, then who? And if not now, then when? In October 1977, Swami gave a message to his college students, and in part, this is what he said. No matter where you go, always do your duty as you see it. And know that I will be there inside you, guiding you every step of the way. In the years to come, you will experience me in many different manifestations of my form. You are my very own, dearer than dear to me. I already have you and you already have me. There is no difference. I will protect you like the eyelids protect the eyes. Be happy. Be patient. In time, everything will be given to you. Whatever is experienced, know that this avatar has willed it so. There is no force on earth which can delay for an instant the mission for which this avatar has come. And you will all have your sacred parts in the unfolding drama of the new golden age that is coming. Brothers and sisters, this next quote comes from a book written by Charles Penn, and an experience is shared by him where he received a message from Swami in 1979. And it's entitled, Your Mission Has Begun. Your mission has begun. Those are my words to you, my devotees. Each of you have a unique and valuable part to play in this lifetime. Only those whom I have called can serve me. My mission has now reached that point in time when each of you now has work to do. This planet Earth has a purpose in the galaxy in which it is held. That purpose is now unfolding itself before our very eyes. Allow yourselves to radiate the bhakti of devotion within you to all living beings and all human beings. But do not reach for the fruits of your work. This part of my mission is performed in absolute silence. The moment you allow your ego to descend upon you, my work ceases. When you've overcome your negative unmindfulness, you will again become my source. The multiplication of my love will be felt throughout the world. I have prepared you for this work over many incarnations. My work is ceaseless, and so your work too is without end. Know that I am within you, and without you there is no difference. Rid yourselves of petty matters forevermore. My darshan will pour forth from me to and through you. You may be unaware of this constant action. Be ever pure in heart and soul, and mankind in your lifetime will benefit from your unique qualities. Others too will join me in this mission when I draw them to me. The time is fast approaching when all of humanity will live together as one in harmony. That time will be here sooner than one expects. Before it arrives, be prepared to do whatever is necessary to reveal to every single living thing the true purpose of existence. It is not something that anyone alive can imagine. It is not something that anyone can try to aspire to. It is beyond human comprehension. I can only tell you that its beauty is magnificent beyond all dreams. And as each of you perform your silent work, I will embrace you to my heart. And henceforth your souls shall be lifted up. Your faces shall reveal my presence within. I say to you, my devotees, from the Lord's mounting top, where all the universes become one, be about my work, my beloved bhaktas. Your breath will carry the scent of the blossoms of heaven. Your example will be that of angels. Your joy will be my joy. A prophetic glimpse of the mission and purpose of this magnificent supreme divine consciousness, this embodiment of love that exists in each and every human heart. Brothers and sisters, I want to express gratitude and appreciation to Bhagwan for allowing this gathering to take place here this morning. And I want to end by singing a song. I'd like to get some musical accompaniment. And this is a Christian hymn. I'd just like to share the words with you. Praise him, all ye loving people. Praise him, all ye loving people. He is love, he is love. The time to be happy is now. The place to be happy is here. And the way to be happy is to make others happy, and we'll have a little heaven down here. So there you go. Praise him, all ye loving people. He is love, he is love. Praise him, all ye loving people. He is love, he is love. Love him, thank him, all ye loving people. He is love, he is love. Love him, thank him, all ye loving people. He is love, he is love. The time to be happy is now. The place to be happy is here. And the way to be happy is to make others happy, and we'll have a little heaven down here. I need to get the whole audience in this song, please. Let us clap. Let us sing to join our hearts. Let's go. The time to be happy is now, right now. And the place to be happy is here, right here. And the way to be happy is to make others happy, and we'll have a little heaven down. A little faster. The time to be happy is now, right now. Place to be happy is here, right here. And the way to be happy is to make others happy, and we'll have a little heaven down here. One more time. The time to be happy is now, right now. And the place to be happy is here, right here. And the way to be happy is to make others happy, and we'll have a little heaven down here. And the way to be happy is to make others happy, and we'll have a little heaven down here. Brothers and sisters, when I first came into contact with Bhagwan in 1979, I was 19 years old. And I always wanted to sing the bhajans. But every time I would practice, the music accompaniment could not match what my voice was. So I took it as a sign that I had to practice. So I selected one particular bhajan that I felt harmonized with my voice. And that bhajan is dum 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 bhajan. So everywhere I went in Trinidad, and people would say, "Brother Fize, sing a song," I would say dum dum dum. Then after a while, a little child says, when I was walking into a satsang, he said, "Look, dum dum coming." song and just bring this message to an end. So if we can have a dholak play, I think it would lend, it will drop my voice out a little more. And it's a bhajan that has a lot of pep and energy. And in line with the theme, beloved devotees, Bhagwan says, be happy. He addresses us as embodiments of love. We must not walk around with castor oil faces, he says. That love, that if you're not having fun, if you're not being happy, you're not being spiritual. Because that is our very birthright. So join with me. Dum 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 dum. Bless and guide each and every one of us. And as we continue to aspire on the spiritual path, let our fervent and heartfelt prayer be that we will ceaselessly strive to be wonderful examples of His divine love. Jai Sai Ram.
Brother Fize. Thank you for that wonderful, inspiring talk, interspersed with music, humor, and very powerful messages. Some of the key takeaways for me from this talk were: the most powerful way to spread Swami's message is to be the change by transforming ourselves. And that none of us is better than all of us together, which exemplifies the message of unity. And the most powerful affirmation, thank you for reminding us that we are all God and we're no different from God. I wanted to go back to this very humorous message that you started the talk with. And I wanted to assure you that just not you, but all of us here will have that golden mansion, because we were connecting with Swami the whole time that you were talking. So thank you for that. I have a couple of quick announcements. We have a bone marrow registry drive that is being conducted as part of the retreat. This is at the new infirmary, and this registry will be open during break times. So morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., from noon to 2, and then from 7 to 8 p.m. So this is a very simple process to register. It takes less than 5 minutes. You just have to fill out a small form, and they do a very simple swab test. And if your swab matches with any potential person who needs a bone marrow transplant, then you will be saving a life. So this is a very noble cause. So please do register, and this just has to be done once in your lifetime. Once you register, that information will be in the database forever. So we please request you to go to the new infirmary and complete that registration. We also have some unassigned cars that are parked near registration. So if you've parked your car there, please do go to the service desk area and let them know. Parking is not allowed on the campsite. We have a parking lot and we have valet parking, so they will take care of that for you. We have a question and answer session on Monday morning with our guest speakers. And we do have index cards at the back of the hall, and also our devotion hall volunteers can provide you with the index cards and pens. So if you have any questions, please do make a note of them and give them to our devotion hall volunteers, and they will get those questions to the guest speakers. We have 3 amazing workshops coming up at 11 a.m. The first workshop is Parenting the Sai Way, and it's right here in the devotion hall, and the facilitators are Sister Suguna and Brother Mohan Chunduri from Manhattan Sai Center. We have 2 workshops in the B Loop in Prashanti and Vrindavan. The workshop number 2, which is Healthy Diet to Support an Active Lifestyle, it's in Vrindavan. It's in the area where Swami's room is located, and it's being facilitated by Manisha Karla and Rohit Seem. The third workshop this morning at 11 a.m. is at Prashanti, and the topic is Becoming Wave More Than a Particle, and it's being facilitated by Sister Nandini and Sister Kathy Dahl. I would request Brother Doug to please come up and introduce our campsite owner and director, Ross Moskowitz. Thank you.
Wow, wasn't that great? Let's have another hand for... Isn't this a fantastic camp? Yes. Camp Westmont. Wow. Just the family that has built this camp is the Moskowitz family. They started Camp Westmont in 1981. And what's really cool about it is there you go. What's really cool is the profit that they make from running this camp, they put back into the camp. Every year, we see major improvements. And the staff are so wonderful. Isn't this a great camp? And Ross is camp director. And Ross is here. Ross is the most caring person. He is so cool. We love Ross. Thank you, Ross. And Ross's parents, Fred and Nina Moskowitz. I don't think you're in the audience right now. No? Okay. Fantastic. We are very lucky and fortunate to have Camp Westmont each year. Well, when Ross's parents started camp in 1981, he was one of the campers here. And of course, he fell in love with camp life. So, as they say, the rest was history. Ross is now the director of the camp, and he's also the president of the Wayne County Camping Association. There are many camps here. What's really interesting to me, okay, and not that I'm biased about University of Maryland, the Terps, but Ross played Division I baseball for the University of Maryland. Ross then attended law school and became an attorney. And Ross's wife, Susan, is also an attorney. And they have two wonderful children, Emily and Andrew. Ross, we're very glad to be here and sharing Camp Westmont with you. It is my pleasure to introduce Ross, Director of Camp Westmont.
Sairam. Sairam. That's some introduction, Doug. Thank you so much. I will not be needing any music accompaniments, so that was just amazing. Every year, one of the highlights for me is coming up here on Thursday and for the first time entering this magnificent devotional. It is absolutely spectacular. Yes, so try if you can, just picture this, your devotion hall, our gymnasium, filled with 600 campers, right? Either we're putting on a performance, or we may be having evening activity, a basketball game, and everybody in here is cheering. Their spirits are high. We're all present. We're mindful. Really, it's a nice relationship with exactly what's going on here today. And when I was walking around this beautiful morning, one word kept echoing and popping up in my mind, and that was being grateful. I am so grateful. I know that, you know, Doug and Aparna and all the hard work you guys do, you know, Ajit, Maya, Varani, you know, it's just, it is our pleasure to be hosting this amazing event for the past so many years. You all have inspired myself and my staff to be more mindful and be more present. This really has been, for us, an extremely symbiotic relationship. And I mean that. You guys have made us, myself, Scott, my assistant, I believe, better camp directors. My staff, you know, we have used this as a learning experience. We also take away bits and pieces every single year, and we use that when we have our meetings with my great maintenance staff about how can we be more accommodating, be more gracious, be more kind, and be more present. So I also want to thank you guys for that. Please give yourselves a round of applause. We're able to use this time together to become a more cohesive unit. We actually, and Doug, I mean, it was almost like you were there when I was writing this, but we wanted to show you guys. We have consistently tried to improve our facility and reinvest every single year, so you guys feel appreciated and welcomed and never once ever taken for granted. So thank you. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend and the amazing weather to follow. Yes. Please enjoy each other's company, get home safely, and on behalf of myself, my family, Scott and Barry, Fred and Minna, and my entire staff, maintenance on down, we already look forward to hosting you guys again next year. Sayonara.
Good.